لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Deen Love. This is another episode of the journey to Hajj with brother Ustad Najib, HAJJ Najib, I'm sorry. So Akhio, last time that we talked about some of the stuff that we talked about last time is the reason of going to Hajj. We talked about what to take to Hajj. Now just tell me about your traveling experience. How did that go?
Subhanallah, this is probably one of the hardest things that gets to people, because traveling in general is a test.
Okay.
It's very, very tough. You know, you're traveling for it takes you maybe a day to get there.
Okay.
So imagine just a complete day of travel every single second. It gets you where the food is off, everything is off, you're flying. I remember when I got out of here, I was in a tight, squeezed airplane.
Yes.
Eventually, then you get just getting out of the system, and then
The system as in the country?
yeah, just to get out. It's a process, you know. They make you take from an airplane here, then to somewhere else in the States. Then you get on. We were lucky enough. International flight. We got on a Saudi airline plane, which is nice, where you get to pray and relax and kind of relax. You know what I mean? Even though the airplane there was kind of full, the way back was a little bit not so full, right? Some people, they had to go. We went straight to Medina, from Washington to Medina.
Wow.
Beautiful. Even though the pain in the sitting and all that was kind of a little bit tough, right? Some people, the traveling killed them. They went from here, 2 locations in the States, then they went to a 3rd international location before they came to Saudi.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said Washington to Medina. I always imagine that when you leave anywhere from the States and you go to Saudi Arabia, that you go to Jeddah first.
For some reason, that's sometimes the case, but it depends on how your Hajj agency schedules you.
Okay.
So if they schedule you nicely, that's what you want to request for. You want a direct flight from the States to Mecca or Medina or Jeddah. It doesn't even matter, anywhere there. But what you don't want is to make a 3rd international stop.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is what happened to people. They were stuck in maybe in Europe or in Dubai for another 5-6 hours.
I've heard a lot of those.
Just dead. Imagine a whole day you were flying, and then you get to somewhere else, a part of the world, and you just half dead, passed out on some airport somewhere, and then you just lay there waiting for the next airplane. And by the time you get there, you're already dead. And then we were lucky enough to rest on the airplane. By the time I got there, I was ready to dress up, boom, head to Medina and explore. Some people, it took them they had to come back, they had to themselves rest, eat, you know what I mean? From the exhaustion of the traveling. So, I'm telling you right now, guys, if you want to go to Hajj, you have to be tough.
And one of the things is get a reliable travel agency.
Yeah.
And make sure you check your itinerary. And if you have too many stops, try to make some changes, and you won't get tired out.
If you just show up on the day of the flight, and you're like, Alhamdulillah, I'm so excited. Your excitement is going to be killed and ruined because you did not take the time to properly look into your travel agency and what their scheduling of things.
I've heard some people's flights being delayed in Europe or something like that.
Yeah, and they're
luggage being misplaced. There's just so many factors that you have to put in.
Yeah.
So definitely check your itinerary and make sure that it takes you straight from the States to Medina to Medina. I mean, how did that feel though?
That
just
was
landing in the city of the Prophet.
Yeah, hopefully we'll talk about that
soon,
yeah. Arriving in Medina is a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I had the honor of enjoying that because our travel agency did an amazing job. Actually, just to our group. The other groups were complaining like crazy.
Can we give them a shout out?
Shout out to the travel agency. Yeah, that's real. I gotta give shout out to Mecca Travel, located in the Twin Cities area, right? Yeah. Mecca Travel Agency was awesome. Obviously, you know what? No agency is gonna be perfect because it's a travel agency. Something is bound to go wrong.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but in general, you know what I mean? There were actually people who were so frustrated with our agency that they wanted to sometimes we had to stop brothers from like engaging in fights because the emotion was so high and the frustration that if you're not patient, if you're not patient,
You're not patient.
patient, if your patient level is low and you know who you are and you know yourself, then consider yourself prepared before you go to Hajj. Because if you're not prepared, you will be tested. Your patience will be tested. And sometimes it's not in the hands of the travel agents. Buses might come late. You'll be stranded somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You might be stuck somewhere for hours and hours waiting for something to happen, for the next thing to come, and you're already exhausted. I remember when we arrived in Medina, we were already exhausted, right? And then we were sitting around in the bus area for a long time just waiting for a bus to come take you to the hotel. Take us to the hotel. So if you don't have a good amount of patience stored up, you're just gonna boof, explode, and that explosion is gonna ruin your Hajj experience and your ajr and everything.
Definitely. You have to remember also, us over here in America,
Yeah.
we tend to have different cultural differences, right?
Oh yeah.
So you gotta put that into account.
So luxury.
Yes, the luxury, yes.
The luxury and that's the sad, that's what happens to a lot of Muslims who live in America. Their Hajjs get ruined because they're not fully prepared for the environment that they're about to face, right? And they go to Hajj with a luxury mentality and they see the reality of things and then they just break down. And then you see people, boof, they explode. And then sometimes I was just busy calming people down.
So it'll be okay. Yes.
And I'm like, I don't want to be spending like this in my Hajj, but I have to because the brother's traveling with me. I have nothing better to do than to be with him and be like, Akhi, it's gonna be okay. Calm down. It's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? And especially people who bring their parents. They're on a different sensitive level.
Parents,
you got a brother who's
parents.
bringing his old mom or dad, and he's with them and he wants to keep them safe and secure. But the reality is that it's tough. And then when things get tough, he breaks down and just explodes. I've seen that in front of my eyes.
Imagine that's your parents.
It's tough, yeah, and that's what I'm telling you. It's really sensitive, emotional. Everybody's sensitivity level is so high that even if one cup gets moved from here to here, boom, people explode.
So, from what I learned, make sure your itinerary is on point, your travel agency is on point, and like we already talked about, travel light. Come back heavy, inshallah. And also, remember and learn why you need to go to Hajj beforehand.
Yep.
And inshallah, always remember, Hajj is one of the best experiences you'll ever have. So be prepared and stay tuned for what you need to do next.
Inshallah. Till next time. Sallallahu wasallam ala nabiyyina wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك